The invasive algae Rugalopteryx okamure is native to Asia, but has become established in the Strait and the southern coast of Iberia. It's been a problem in Gibraltar already in recent years, and this summer it's increasingly affecting the east as well as the west side of the rock.
It's an invasive species, so it has no natural predators. Normally, in a balanced ecosystem, what you'll have is herbivores that graze on that algae and keep its concentrations down. But here, we don't have any species that consume it, at least none that we know of at the moment. And consequently, it's growing out of control. It grows on rocks. It needs a hard substance in order to grow on. And so where you've got sand that moves around, it cannot grow on that because it cannot establish itself. So wherever we deposit rocks, what we're doing is we're creating a very fertile ground for this invasive algae to grow. And here at Sandy Bay, we've got the groins that go out on the north side and the south side of the beach. We've got the bar that protects the beach from the wave action, and the algae is growing all over those rocks. And what happens is that as the algae starts to break off the rocks, it gets washed up onto the beach, and that's what you see going on behind us.
And you've raised concerns in the past about the East Side project and the sea walls, the revetments that are being built for that, also creating habitat for this.
Precisely. I mean, for the reasons that I've outlined. The more rocks we throw into the water on the east side, the more habitat we are creating for this algae, the more algae is going to grow, and the more will eventually wash up on the beaches and have to be cleaned. So we're creating a rod for our own back.
In response to GBC questions, the government says the suggestion that any works are to blame for the increase in the algae is indefensible. It says there is a great deal of suitable habitat in the Western Mediterranean already, and that Gibraltar's current shoreline already has rocks that could attract the algae. The government says its contractors have collected around 6 to 7 tons already this week from Western Beach and especially Sandy Bay. It adds it will continue to do so as often as needed, despite the cost, and welcomes the help of the Nautilus Project, whose youth monitors and volunteers have been working to clear the shores.
This is definitely one of the worst years compared to last year, for example. We started 2 weeks ago. We cleaned up Gibraltar, which as mentioned previously was around 400 kilos. Yesterday, we started then focusing this week on seaweed removal across all the beaches, working at Western Beach. We filled up all those yellow big bags. We filled out about 10, 11 of those and a couple of the big black bin liners, which amount to around 600 and something kilos, which again is a crazy amount. But the worst part for us was that it barely made a dent. We cleared out the net, which was obviously a closed thing, but once we started working on the outside of the net, it was as if it just kept coming and we couldn't even notice the difference. And we fear that's probably what's going to be happening here.
This year there seems to be a lot more in Gibraltar, Western, and especially in Sandy here. Usually there is not this much in Sandy at all, maybe a bit on the beach, but compared to last year, it's crazy the amount that we found. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of kilos every day. Usually we're collecting it in the water, but here on Sandy, for example, it's because of the build-up. It's collected on the beach. So from the days, weeks of being there and not being collected, it's built up on the sand. But usually it is in the water, and you see it around the rocks because that's where it gets caught and then can affect like rocky shore habitats, so things like crabs and things like that.
Even as the heaps on the shore are laboriously removed, the fast-growing algae can build up again, with the negative effect not just on the beaches we enjoy, but the whole marine environment beyond them.